Let's make a quick sketch of a basic sine graph, y equals sine of 1/3 x. To guide us, we have the general form of a sine equation, y equals a sine of bx, and then a template or an outline to guide our steps. Jumping right in, we'll first identify a, that's the leading coefficient. In our equation, it's an understood 1. Now this is our amplitude, or basically that's just the distance from the midline or middle of the graph horizontally up to a maximum or a minimum. This will help us plot the points for our maximum and minimum in step 2 with our key points. Okay, b is the coefficient of x. In this case, that's 1/3. And we use b to calculate the period or the length of one horizontal cycle. We just use the formula 2 pi over b. So 2 pi divided by 1/3. If it's easier for you to think about dividing by a fraction as multiplying by its reciprocal, you can do that. So the reciprocal is 3/1, and our period is 6 pi. Now that we have our period, let's choose a convenient horizontal scale. To do that, all you need to do is take the period and divide by 4. And we're going to do that. Look below in step 2. We have 4 key points in a basic sine pattern. We start at the origin with our 0, 1, go to a maximum, then a second 0, then a minimum. And so each of these points will align with a horizontal tick mark when we design it this way. So 6 pi over 4. Okay, and if you want to reduce that, which of course we do, it's 3 pi over 2. And let's go ahead and label our horizontal axis. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks. And note that that 4th tick mark should match the period. So let's go ahead and label. We're counting by 3 pi over 2. So that's 3 pi over 2. Then another 3 pi over 2 gives us 6 pi over 2. So write that out, but of course that reduces to 3 pi. So we'll write the reduced form there. Keep counting by 3 pi over 2. We had 6 pi over 2, so now we have 9 pi over 2. And then 12 pi over 2, which reduces to 6 pi. So that 4th tick mark, or the end of our first cycle, that matches our period. We're on the right track. Now we already talked about a being a value of 1. That's our amplitude. So from the midline, which is just going to be that x-axis here, that's going to be a maximum of 1 and a minimum of -1. And we'll see that as we get to step 2. All right, so the basic sine pattern, like I said, starting at the origin with a first 0, next tick mark gets a maximum, then a 0, then a minimum. So we'll start ours at the origin. So our 3 pi over 2 is our x coordinate, and our maximum, to get the y value, just look at your value for a. All right, then our next tick mark gets a 0. And finally, our minimum is going to be at our 3rd tick mark moving to the right. And we get that y coordinate by just taking the opposite value of a. Okay, so then step 3 is to just sketch that in. All right, and then of course the cycle can repeat for as many as you need. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for a lot more help with graphing and other math tips.